There we are. We are live. We're back.
Are
Like
we?
a shock, right?
Are we?
Yes, I think we officially are back.
Hey,
We are. We're up on
Hi.
Facebook. There we go.
nice.
I just did a
Good
reload.
to see you all.
We are live.
So here
We're
we
back.
go. folks.
Yeah.
Sweet.
We were talking before we got started that we've had a little bit of a pause that was not planned or expected, but that's
Nope.
just the way things roll. We had some trips, but primarily, that first month everyone gets a little bit of something, some kind of crud or whatever. So you might be able to tell I'm getting over mine. Man, it's nothing like pushing through a work day when you're still not feeling 100%. How do we do it?
It's hard. It's hard. Yeah, I was. So I had it 2 weeks prior to you, and
Yeah.
I was down really hard. I guess, like I said, I've been sharing with you all, but then not everybody here that's joining us. But I'm one of the lucky ones. I guess it's going to be a little bit of a thing every year. And oddly enough, I'm a year right at the anniversary of my booster. So yeah,
Oh,
I'm getting
wow.
sick. So anyway, yeah, but like it's now when I go into the classroom, it's like everywhere. Everyone's sick and everyone's coughing and wheezing.
Yeah.
So hopefully but it's tiring, right?
Yes.
Oh, hey.
Yep.
And we're not spring chickens anymore. So it takes a little bit of time to bounce back a little bit.
It does a little bit nowadays,
bit,
doesn't it?
a little bit.
Yeah,
Where does
it's
that
humbling.
phrase come from? Spring chickens. Spring chickens. I know what I mean. I've heard people say it, but so were chickens only born in the spring?
Spring chickens.
I think it has to do with peeps.
Peeps.
Yeah, the peeps. It's all about the marshmallows.
I hate those things.
We need to. Do we have any farmers in our community? So we can
Yeah,
ask
if
that
you could
question?
please.
Our friends at the Stead School.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
that's
should
right.
reach out to our friends there, the agricultural charter school. I guess, spring, I'm going to put my English hat on.
Let's go.
Spring is always symbolic of it's new, everything's springing up anew. So that would be my guess, is that
Spring
new little chicks. But it got me thinking, actually, without getting into, because this could be a whole topic, but first of all, I hope our educators take time for themselves. If you're not feeling well, stay home, first of all, so that you're okay and you make sure your
Please.
health is the most important, but also that we're not spreading some of these fun germs.
Yep.
And second, when it comes to students, like, what do you all do? How do you handle that when you got kiddos out sick and stuff? Like, or how's your admin handle it? Or because we're all representing different levels here, I'm just kind of curious of the
Elementary school. Be
Yeah.
mindful of what's being sprayed and and we talk about that a lot. I have a few songs. Soap and Water. I have set to Beyonce's Better Put a Ring on It. That one,
Yeah.
That's Soap and Water, Soap and Water. And I have a whole dance to it. It's a good stuff.
I love
But
it.
yeah, I start teaching them hygiene, wash. Everything in the music room is hands-on. So it's a lot of clean hands and okay, before you pick the pick, and you need to stop picking your nose. And there we go.
You pick your friends. You could pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose.
It's so good to see you guys. That's how we get through a rough day, knowing I'm going to see you guys on a Wednesday night.
That's all. That's what it's all about. How about you, Fred? How do you handle it? Are you in the same room every time you're teaching your courses, or they have you in different rooms?
This semester, yeah, I'm pretty much in the same space, which is nice. So there's not a lot of movement, but at the same time, there's a lot of movement. Like, so it's a lot of different students coming and going. So it's like a whole new batch of germs. But as you were saying that, I was thinking about what COVID was like and how we quickly started to learn to get used to this space, the video stuff, whether you're on Zoom or Teams or Hangouts or whatever. So for me, when I got sick, our policy is that stay out, but we can snap right in now, right, to a video delivery mode. And one of the cool things is there's no lift, if that's the right word. Like, students get it. Like, there's not a lot of hand holding, like, oh, make sure you do this. Because prior to COVID, to get people to get online to do video collaboration, man, it was really tricky, right? Even like whether we were doing meetings with people, there was a lot of like newness to it. Now it's like everyone kind of gets it.
It's been pushed through.
And you push through it. But yeah, there was one day though, like I was just not able to move. I was just down, and I just said, let it, they're working projects, use that as team time and go that route. So we're a little bit up more, autonomous. I have a lot of students too who are, hey, I'm sick, I'm not coming in today. So I think we've become a little bit more flexible in terms of how we can get an assignment to them and make it up and do all that stuff. So that's one of the biggest change. One of the big takeaways from COVID, I think, is we're flexible and we're capable. And, but at the same time, we love being back in the classroom. That's where we need to be, and so that's what we've been doing. Though it works pretty good.
What's your comfort routine when you guys are under the weather? What are some of the things you get to feel better at home? Your chicken noodle soup for the soul type stuff. What do you guys do to help yourself feel better?
Go ahead, Erin. What do you do?
For me, this last time, you guys know I was down hard. It was even watching TV, I couldn't do. But once I started feeling better, I always binge the Star Wars stuff. So I finished Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And then I was
that could be a whole other episode. That's a Dan Zehr.
Oh, which by the way, Dan Z's gonna come and we're gonna talk about it.
Nice.
Yeah, we're gonna do some deep dives and literary analysis using Ahsoka. So I'm super excited. He's such a great guy.
He is great.
He's excited to come on and talk to us. Coffee with Kenobi. So then I was like, okay, now that I finished the first season of Ahsoka, I had told myself I'd go back to watching the Rebels, because I watched that series when it was out in real time.
Yep.
So kids, that was only on TV, and you waited every week, which I guess they're kind of doing now on streaming, which I like. You have to kind of wait every week, get excited and talk about it. So I started binging that. That's about it. How about you guys?
So Harry Potter. Like all of a sudden, like I'll watch every Harry Potter movie, and I'm a Star Wars guy. Like I would have done what you did, Erin, but I was already doing that. I think off the binge schedule. Yeah. So, I just sit and I can watch Harry Potter movies over and over again. I see something different in the one thing that I really enjoy about those stories is I pick up something different and new every time I watch it. I don't get that very often with a lot of other movies, though. I don't know why. A lot of other series. I don't know if it's because they're so.
Oh, there's so many characters.
Like so many characters, interconnections, and yeah. So I really enjoy that. So yeah, that's my go-to, Pete. I kind of just zone out. And then I will kind of gravitate towards some of the Star Wars stuff too, or Lord of the Rings. So yeah,
nice.
I just kind of zone out. Yeah. And what do you do?
Yeah, Pete.
They know here in the Bush household, if Dad comes down in the TV room and is sleeping in the recliner wearing his Chewbacca onesie, everybody knows I'm sick.
That's it. That's the signal.
I just go, and I'm the biggest baby when I'm sick. But and if my if it's not a stomach thing, if it's I enjoy I'll eat and soup, whatever. But yeah, sit in front of TV, Chewbacca onesie, comfort. Yeah, leave Dad alone. Leave me alone. Just let me feel better. Let me be a big baby.
Yeah.
That's that. But I'm glad you both are feeling better. I was worried about you both.
Thanks, Pete. I appreciate that.
Not gonna do this show on my own. That's for sure.
Oh. Yeah, I know that was another thing too, right? So everyone that's watching this and listening to it, we had that quick chat going back and forth, and Erin was a trooper. She was like, we can get the show going, but we're like, no, just rest. Yep. So hopefully, thank you everybody for being kind and patient. We're back, and we're no worse for wear. So
we have a few weeks coming up with. Now we're going to start with our guests. We're getting some, like Erin mentioned, some of our old guests coming back. And who do we have coming up?
Yeah, so we've got Dan Z's coming soon. We've got some visitors from iTech in Orlando, because of course, Fred, we got to honor October as Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So we'll be talking about that.
Yep.
We've got some school leaders coming on. Like we've got a lot of old friends coming on to talk about some new stuff. And at the same time, I think we've got some new people. I'm working on someone who's a college professor, but is out there traveling across the world, Fred, talking about using AI in education. And he's going to come on and play with us. He's going to do some demonstrations, and that's going to be fun. So
how's that? How have you all been seeing that now appear in your, I mean, obviously once again, we're at different levels, but has that entered the room with your classes, your students, your parents, your staff? How's all that been going?
Yeah, man, it's hit or miss. I feel like you're either on one side or the other. There's no in between, right?
Right.
So there's either the doomsday of this is like going to be the downfall of humanity and all kids are going to do is cheat, to the other side of, well, this is the next evolution of where we are, and we need to probably try to find some ways to let our students play with it. And guess what? Even we could probably use it for some great things. I'm not going to lie. I've used it for a couple different things just to kind of get me going on something. And then once I have it, it's amazing how I can use that to just kind of get my brain sparking with what I need to do, or to, manipulate or modify it. I mean, I think it's been great. I don't use it on a daily basis, Fred, but I have been using it. I've used it with students just to kind of same thing, get them to have something to play with. I see it as a I see it as a collaborator. That's my personal take on it.
Yeah.
It's going either way. I mean, even to the point of like, we don't have a policy yet in my school district, but from what I'm hearing, there sounds like they want to write a policy, and it's going to be kind of a whole, just exit the whole thing out. And I'm like, okay, so what are you going to do with Bing? What are you going to do with Canva? What, all these other programs that it's built in. I think I just saw a commercial for Google Pixel phone, and it's in the phone.
Yeah.
For everything. So it's not going anywhere, man.
It's going to be it's going to be in Office 365. So all the schools that are weaving any kind of Office 365 stuff, it's going to be in there. Google's definitely having there. It's already starting to show up in, they use Bard, and that's going to be in there. I think the big thing is making guardrails. What no matter what grade you teach, certain guardrails and awareness, and
as with everything,
right.
Right. That's all.
Pete, have you done it with any music stuff? Out of curiosity,
I have not in my classroom yet, or any of my performing groups. I have on my own. I've explored a little bit on my own, and just wanted to get feelers out. And I'm still chewing on it, and just getting a tipping my toe in.
It'd be really fun. We could do it too sometime if you want, even though we're not I'm not musically inclined. I know Fred is.
You both are.
But it'd be fun to do it where it's, you tell it to write, lyrics to a song about, and we could be very specific, and then we have to come up with the tune that would go with the words. That'd be kind of fun.
Well, and that's so in my freshman class, their first assignment, because this is such a hot and contemporary topic, they were asked to go out and explore it. So I didn't ask them to go ahead and create any account if they didn't want to, but it is already built into Microsoft Edge with the Bing chat, free. So it's right in there. And the creative stuff that got turned in, I was surprised. I was really surprised, because first of all, when I introduced it to these students, this class is a general education course now. So it's a little bit broader spread spectrum of students. It's not all techies. So it's business, it's arts, it's biology, it's whatever. So, they really weren't paying attention to this stuff. So now all of a sudden they have to do it as a homework assignment. They got out there, and I just watched a video that one person created, and then another one did generate lyrics, and then he auto-tuned his voice to sing it. And and I was listening, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's really good. I mean, it's funny, but it's entertaining. So I think you're right. There's the conversation that we had was the fact that they're all creative. You could all be creative. Right. And that was like one of those moments where it kind of reminds me of Duncan Wardle, who we've seen speak. And if anyone has a chance, go check him out, search him. And one of his TED.
We should get him on, Fred, actually. Yeah. He liked I did a whole blog about him, actually. I tied a bunch of his stuff to education. Oh, sorry. You just reminded me we need to reach out to him.
Yes, yeah, we should. Yeah. It's
been a while since we've seen him.
Yes. Yeah. So, in one of his TED Talks, he talks about that, at what age were we told that we're no longer creative?
That's right.
And how do we get convinced of that? Because we can't, paint creatively or beautifully, or we can't draw beautifully, or we can't sing beautifully, or, you know, like, so all that stuff, like, but creativity could be shown in other ways. And so that's been a fun lab. I have to finish grading them because those, you know what, it's like one of those assignments that you get kind of like pulled into the weeds,
Sure.
and you spin your wheels, like listen to something over and over, or you dig further and some. Yeah. But it's been interesting. It's definitely been interesting. So I'm hoping to do some more stuff.
Yeah, I think creative. It's a creative opportunity and a collaborative opportunity, and that was making me think. Pete, what's the thing you always say about a creative life?
Oh, my little tagline: a creative life is a happier life, a healthier life, and ultimately a more successful life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Suck it.
That's right.
Suck it. Hashtag suck it.
No, that was to the AI. As I said, I made that. I made
that. That needs to be our shirt.
AI.
Shirt.
So here's something too. So everybody, do you all have ChatGPT as the app on your phone?
I do not.
All right. So there's been beta releases, and one of the features got rolled out, and I have the one account that's the step above, right now for whatever, because I'm testing some stuff out. And when I met with a good friend of ours, Jason Knapp, here at the Magic, shout out there. He's like, I'll give you a ride. I want you to meet somebody. So we get into his car. We're gonna go get something, and before you know it, we're doing voice chat with ChatGPT, and the voice that he picked, you get 6 voices, and the voice that he had picked, her name was Sky, was Scarlett Johansson. And I was like, this is bizarre. And he goes, oh, hey, we just got in the car. I'm with my good friend Fred here, and we just had a dinner, and you know, I had a steak, but it was okay, and this and that. And then she responds, and she goes, oh, it's nice to meet you, Fred. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry to hear, Jason, you didn't enjoy your meal, but maybe if you try something else at this other place next time, you'll enjoy it better. And it was like this. It was literally engaging us, you know, and it was really, really bizarre. I said, I could see it being helpful on one hand for certain personality types. I could see it destroying marriages on other.
Seriously, yeah, guardrails,
right? Guardrails again, right?
With every,
but it was really cool. But I don't have access to that feature. It's a select rollout.
And I might have mentioned it here that I saw and listened to same thing. My mind was blown. It was for Tesla, so it was on their site, putting together a car, didn't finalize the order. So the AI called the guy, and it sounded like a real person, like it was customer service. Just, hey, just noticed that you were putting together this car, but didn't follow through and order it. Just wanted to know if there was a problem or what. And it was responding in real time naturally to this conversation. And I was just blown away with it. But, you know, putting the educator hat on, good or bad, you know, there's not enough time in the day, especially K through 12, Fred, but same in higher education too, to be making those phone calls and just that customer service of just like, hey, is everything going okay at home right now? Because we're noticing a change in, you know, the person, and how, you know, what could we do to be more supportive to you, whatever. Can you imagine though, if that could naturally be an AI thing that takes care of that part of it, and we're able to get back real data about what's going on and how we can help I don't know.
I think, but yeah, because that's the thing, you know, in all the stuff that we're all involved with outside of the classroom, you know, with PSB Creative and Inspired Education and everything, like, right, and Get Me Coding, we're learning all these things, these good practices for customer touch points, but we don't call our students customers, obviously, with their students, but yet we don't often employ a lot of those really good, we'll call them business practices, in the classroom, because like you said, it's an extra workload. It's a lot. And like you just said, calling and doing all that. I mean, it's what we should be doing, but we all know that it's a lot. Yeah. It's time consuming. And if the tool can help step in and start to mediate some of that stuff for us, I think that could be a really good thing. I'm actually reading a book right now called The Second Brain, or Building Your Second Brain. It's a book written by Tiago Forte. And it's really a book written about how you can use tools from note-taking to note-taking apps to start more effectively capturing thoughts and notes and ideas thoughts and ideas throughout the day. But at the beginning of the book, one of the things that he starts to talk about is the realization of where we are today. And we all know this. We have information bombarding us from so many different directions, and whether it's entertainment or information, like professional work and so on. And we really don't do a great job of figuring out how to put it into buckets in an effective way that we can then call upon it later on. And I know that other people have written about this and talked about it and so on. But anyway, his book, it's really interesting. So if anyone's looking for an interesting read, Building the Second Brain by Tiago Forte. And it's just it kind of sheds some light. And so with ChatGPT, it's some automations, you can now maybe be a little bit more intentional about what you do in your day and how you go about doing things, so you don't feel overwhelmed, so you don't feel anxious. But I think there's definitely a shift taking place. We're at the beginning of it, but there's definitely a shift happening. So
it sounds like a good thing for students too. I think at any age to be, helping them with those skills that can be taught. What do you all do to try to capture your thoughts and ideas should it come to you at any moment? Do you have anything that you do, or?
I'm a list guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm holding up a notepad. So.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't even follow through on the list. Sometimes if I just write it once, I remember everything on the list. It's like the pensieve in Harry Potter, where they take their thoughts out and drop them.
Yes.
That's what I do. And just as if I organize it once, if I write it down once, I'm good. I just need to get it out on something. And it's usually old fashioned. It's usually pen and paper.
And in this book, Pete, that's exactly what they talk about.
Yeah.
That's a real important.
That's good. I'm still building my first brain. So, hey,
but it is, that's the key. And a lot of people don't do it. As you're asking that, Aaron, so I downloaded Notion.
Oh yeah, I remember Notion. That.
Yeah. So I'm looking at playing around with that a little bit more. Of course, now it's another bright and shiny thing. We got Notes app, we got Todoist, you got Microsoft's To Do, all that. But I'm looking at that and using that to help capture. But let me ask you this, because you guys are in K through 12. At what grade though do we teach students to take notes?
I mean, my guess, I'm trying to remember when I've been in kindergarten room, I don't really see it at that age. Maybe first grade, but it's basics, and it's typically in certain classes. There's just so many great tools now that you can use to have things up in the room to remind kids about things. So if they didn't take the notes, that you've kind of got the notes provided in front of them. And that's a skill in itself too, of them, even though they're maybe taking an assessment.
Right.
If they're able to even look up at your wall and see some kind of notes that you have there as reminders to them, if they're able to use that and process it and use it towards their assessment, that's great.
Even just some graphic cues.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the process. This is how you remember things. It may not be like traditional notes.
So then, are you just saying that you write this down because it's important? It's going to be on the test. Is that what you're saying, or you're saying this is an important thing to help you think, or
more about the process?
Yeah, that's good to hear. I see too many students not taking notes. Because I remember one time somebody once said to me, you're ruining their note-taking skills. I think I shared this in an earlier podcast, but you're ruining their note-taking skills by giving them a PowerPoint. And I'm like, note-taking skills, all I'm doing is framing up the conversation, and and then from those notes on the screen, we're discussing things further. That's where they should be capturing their notes from. But you have to tell them, they're not, they're often thinking, well, if everything's on the PowerPoint, that's what he's talking about. The test is going to come from that PowerPoint. And then they go to take an essay exam or demonstrate some kind of problem solving, and then they hit a wall. It's like they don't do as well as they could. So that's why I was like, what's mind maps? Like, I'm intrigued.
I love mind maps.
Yeah, I think that's a real cool way to kind of capture your frame of mind and the flow of thoughts.
Fred, I'm going to interrupt and ask PSB Creative in the chat. I have a feeling that might be a certain 12-year-old that's one floor underneath me. And I sure hope when I'm done tonight, you have done your homework and that at-home quiz you're supposed to do this evening, PSB Creative 12-year-old.
Speaking of notes.
You know, that thing that you bugged me about last night at 10 o'clock that you wanted help with. I hope you're working on it now.
I bet he is. I think we're soothing in the background.
Hopefully. Don't give me that.
We're soothing in the background.
Hope is a good thing.
Hey, I'm curious because I was wondering if you're going to do this, and I hope I'm not sharing anything that was private, but you know, I can relate to this special someone that's in our room chatting with us, being a huge Beatles fan.
Yep.
I think there was a concert you all went to recently in Atlanta, right?
Yep. So he's wanted to see a lot of concerts, and we waited for he wanted his first concert though to be with a Beatle. So Ringo Starr and his all-star band played at the Fox Theater about 2 weeks ago, and it was wild. And this guy's 82 years old. He's playing drums. He's doing jumping jacks. He's singing. God bless him.
Speaking of spring chickens,
right? And then his band, literally, they're all stars. They had guys from Toto and Men at Work, and a few others. Really, really amazing musicians. And they each brought along, you know, an impressive list of hits in their own right. So they all just took turns doing everybody's hits. It was just a huge night of hit songs.
That's cool.
Wild. And we were at the very top of the Fox. I don't like the sound in there very much for concerts.
Yeah, so it's not the best.
No, it's not. And it was pretty like that was one thing he said, oh my gosh, it's so loud. You know, so the next thing is, you know, he's waiting for Paul. Paul's getting ready to start some concerts down in Australia and then Brazil. And then there we go. You gave it away. I know that's you now. So I said, listen, if you think we're going to see him if he comes to North America, you know, you better start saving now. That's going to be
some serious stuff.
Yeah. People think Taylor Swift tickets were rough. I mean, come on. So, but anyway, but now he's ready for all concerts. He said, all right, I saw one Beatle. Now I can see anything. He just was waiting for that, but
that was a good way to do it.
He was the youngest kid there. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. I admire that. You know what though? It's good music. And it crosses generations, you know what I mean? Yeah. And for him to pick up on that, I'm happy that he's finding that. So was that, not to make it a dark conversation, is that the show that Ringo Starr fell?
No, that was before. We were run one after it. That was out in Arizona. And a kid knew all about it. What they're doing now is they have guys in the wings with flashlights. And when Ringo, and he does a lot off and on stage. He's on a few and then he'll take a break. He's on a few, take a break. So when he's walking off and on stage, you know, wings are dark on stage and theater. So they have fluorescent tape on the floor, and then they had guys with flashlights shining his way so he wouldn't fall. But I mean, yeah, the guy, he's doing good. He's doing good. So it was a nice night.
That's really cool.
With the kid.
Does he still drum?
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. Because like does Phil Collins still drum?
No, he's retired recently.
I think is it his wrist or is he sick, Pete?
I think it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. So he just sits there and he sings.
He's one of my I love Phil Collins.
He recently said, "I'm done. This is it." And I think his son was playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's an older gentleman, and he's just saying, "Okay, I'm done," and we're gonna leave it at that. So yeah.
But before we get into our game tonight, I want to address the elephant in the room, and I know that only people could see this online, but I just want
Pete, we need to break out our Braves gear. What's happening?
You really doing a sports reference with me?
Well, I'm just saying, you guys were right in Atlanta. I'm up here in northeastern Pennsylvania, so the Phillies are playing Atlanta, and that game the other night was
How's it going? It started like 5 o'clock, I think.
Yeah,
right?
I was thinking that the whole time. I'm like, oh, we have to be on.
I didn't check any scores.
Ooh,
are they down? Who's
We were down there for the second game. We weren't at the game, but we were in the area, and it was wild.
Let me see here.
Oh, bottom of the 6th, 7-2. Braves are down.
Oh boy,
I'm right.
It's going back and forth. It's, you know how this is. It goes back and forth. Braves are just a ripsaw. Like they're just a force to be. They always are a force to reckon with. I think it'll be a fun couple games. I know I have students who are going to tomorrow night's game, and that was the big thing. They're like, Mr. Frank, we have class off. We're all going to the Phillies game. I'm like, go.
What's the name of their stadium now? It used to be the
They're at
Vet, right?
Citizen Bank Park. Yeah, it's a beautiful venue. Yeah,
cool.
It's more so the Veterans Stadium was that big concrete monolith, and then when they built Citizen Bank Park, it was more of that intimate, kind of like along the line. Oh, it's kind of like your stadium, and then also, in Baltimore.
Yeah. Camden Yards.
Camden Yards. Yeah. So it's got that. It's got all the food, and you feel like you're really close to the field. So it's
the old Vet was rough. I saw a stabbing there.
Oh,
yeah.
Welcome to Philly.
Yeah. So hey,
I can remember going to a game in the 70s to see them play the Dodgers, and we were like so up. We were up so high, like I was afraid to lean forward in my chair because I thought I was going to fall out onto the field, like from the very top of the rim up there, or whatever.
Steep.
Oh, but it was.
I want to see McCartney, Dave Grohl, Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross, and Rolling Stones. I want to see you inherit money or get a job.
That's a good list. It's a good list.
It is a good list. Okay.
Stevie Wonder, does he still tour?
I don't know.
Oh,
look who's there. Mr. Campson.
Hello,
Michael.
Hello,
wow,
sir.
Great to see you, Michael.
Hello.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
He's just in time to play the game with us.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Should we
spread
play
the word, Mike. See if you can drag
jump
anybody
in.
else in to play this live, the game live, and of course you could play it on the replay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a great way to play it after you've played it once.
And Fred, there's a lot here, so we don't have to do all of them. We could save them, whatever you feel.
All right, so you want me to put it up and then you'll walk us through?
Yeah. So little would you rather? And I reached out to teacher friends and asked them for ideas, and they looked around. They've played it in other, maybe like staff meetings or whatever, teacher get-togethers, and they just gave me some other ideas, and I wrote them down and share with you guys. So because that's what it's all about. We want to communicate more with the teachers out there.
And once again, so I'm going to harken back. We're calling upon and we're channeling the PSB Creative campfires that were held on Friday evenings, where we had a lot of fun playing a lot of fun trivia games. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to play this. I haven't looked at the slides, so we're good to go.
And I don't remember them. So
that's even better.
Okay. You can play too then.
All right, whatever. So whenever you're ready, you guide me along. I'll click and.
All right. So our first one for Would You Rather. Wing tomorrow's lesson plans. By the way, in a staff meeting, I can't stand when someone is reading slides word for word, but okay.
That's okay.
Wing tomorrow's lesson plans or take a sick day. How apropos.
Yeah, seriously.
Campfires.
Years ago, I probably, unless I thought it was super contagious, I would wing it.
Yep.
I do it because unfortunately in K through 12, trying to get a sub.
Yep. The amount of work.
It just was easier to just roll on in my Wookiee pajamas.
That's changed a little as we're getting older.
Yeah. Now probably take a sick day.
I'm going to go with wing it. A good winging it every now and then is good for the soul.
Wheel the TV out.
Oh my gosh. With the VHS tape.
Yep.
All right, good. I like that.
You ready for the next one?
Sure.
Yeah. Would you rather?
Oh, it got messed up a little.
That's all right.
Have to explain something to your angry principal or to 5 angry parents.
Oh, geez.
Oh, man.
It's weird how it shifted down like that. It didn't look like that on my screen.
It's an angry slide.
Is it something I could change here?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
No.
Have to explain something to your angry principal or to 5.
I'm going to go with the school. I'm going to deal with the school leader.
Yep. Me too.
Too many variables with the angry parents.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't, I definitely get to talk to parents. That's a thing now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. It's
Come
been
on.
Every year it's more and more and more. But a principal, so I would have a dean.
Yep.
I'd rather go with the administrative side any day. Yeah. Supposedly the lawnmower.
Because at that point, it's probably going to stay there. But you know, 5 Angry Parents, it's not going to stay there.
Yeah, and I'm putting a lot of assumptions there. But if you got 5 angry parents, there's something's gone down real bad.
Hmm.
It's like 12 Angry Men. That movie.
Yeah.
There you go.
Craziness. It gets crazy.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good movie, isn't it? It's interesting.
Here we go.
All right, next one. Would you rather work for a week in the cafeteria? Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm reading out loud. Work for a week in the cafeteria or on the janitorial staff.
Okay. So a week for either.
Both would be fun and a learning experience.
I think everybody should have to.
I do too. Actually, we were talking earlier about, what are you doing around this time of year when everyone's getting sick? It's, make sure you're friends with your maintenance staff because they'll make sure you have what you need to keep things clean.
They're the unsung heroes, right? And what is it is it a line in Breakfast Club that they're the eyes and the ears of the school? Is that from that movie?
Right.
Yeah, but I love the idea of cooking food, so I kind of would love to cook food.
Yeah, I'm with you, Fred. I would probably go that route. One unidentifiable sweet potato in the bathroom.
Oh, there it is.
I'm out. You got something shaped like a potato in the bathroom, I'm out.
I've not watched all of the Office episodes, but I caught one the other evening where Michael was talking to, I forget his name. He's the intern. Then they end up hiring him, but he brings him pudding, and he sent him to get pudding and yams. And there was no yams at the place. He goes, there was no yams, but there was pudding.
If you don't know what we're talking about, you need to look back on some past
UPR
oh my god episodes. Yeah, some Office episodes.
Might have been a Halloween episode, actually.
I'm not good when I walk in a cafeteria and it's that you get hit with all the different smells.
Yep.
I can't I can't do it. I'm not good with all the different smells.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Food court somewhere and just all the different. I can't do it. Not that our food is, you know what I mean. But
no.
Janitorial staff. That's deep work. I think. Man, I'm glad I don't have to answer this.
We have a janitorial staff. I don't know what's changed in their management, but our janitorial staff goes out of the way to leave us messages or get like things on our desks. We'll come back to like just say, hey, we're in here, or they'll leave you a lollipop with a note, or like it's.
Do they take a towel and shape it into an animal and leave it on your desk?
Very cool.
They probably could. Maybe that's why I should leave out the towel. But no, like it's just neat. Like they really try to strive to do a personal touch. So if they're, if the staff is working a certain floor or building, that they really do start to get to know the people that are occupying it. So it's neat. I don't know what drove it. All I know is that I'm the recipient of it, and I say thank you to our staff. Yeah.
But wouldn't it be cool if a school could have a day set aside where it's done safely and smartly, but everybody has to have a different job?
Cross training.
Yeah, wouldn't that be remarkable?
Yep.
It's a thing. There are places that do that. I mean, it would probably violate some kind of rule.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's a cool. It gives you a little bit of appreciation for a little empathy, right? Being in their shoes.
Yeah.
I think it's especially cleaning the bathrooms. That would
I think even for people to take a role that's considered the leadership of the school, I think sometimes that would be surprising. A lot of times people complain, they're like, well, I don't understand why they're doing this or why this decision was made, but there's a lot of things that are going on that they probably didn't want to make that decision. They just had to for X, Y, or Z. So sometimes I think even the reverse side of seeing how the other end is, it's everyone's got a role to play, and it's not always easy.
No.
Yeah, I agree. All right, next one.
Let's see.
Would you rather? Go ahead. You read this.
Come in an hour later each day, or arrive to a catered breakfast every day.
Wow. Oh.
I think this depends on if you're a morning person. And
That's what I was going to answer. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the worst thing about teaching elementary. I'm not a morning person. And we get, I'm
It's
there
early.
at 6:50, 6:55, and I'm opening car doors at 7:15. And that's my only thing. It's like, gosh, I wish it just started a little bit later. So I think I'd do the first one.
Yeah.
Now, if that breakfast could be Tonga toast.
Well, there we go.
Our people that are in real time of the conversation are all saying the hour later too. I think that's me too.
Yeah. Or Mr. Michael is just saying, no, I'm just going to leave an hour early. I'm out of here.
See ya. All right, next one.
Would you rather
have 2 hours of planning or leave an hour early every day? Mr. Michael he was reading our mind.
He already predicted.
He already knew this. Have 2 hours of planning or leave an hour early every day. Oh, well, geez.
That's tough. Sometimes that 2 hours of planning is so needed.
Gosh, that's a lot of time. That's, whew.
Yeah, because I could do that 2 hours of planning maybe at night when everybody goes to bed.
I'd rather get out early.
I'd rather
get out early.
Yeah, definitely.
And these are all suggestions written by teacher friends of mine.
That's awesome.
All right. And I think, honestly, I think there was like 20 of them, so we don't have to do them all tonight.
Yeah, let's do one. Let's do one more.
Okay. Would you rather
have a student vomiting or a student throwing supplies?
Oh, God.
Which I have been around plenty of lately.
Yep, not doing the vomiting.
Not doing the vomiting. No, I'm not. No.
How about that classic scene in Stand By Me?
Oh, the pie eating contest.
The pie eating contest.
Oh my gosh. I will never forget when my son was a little tiny guy, and I mean like tiny guy, carrying tiny kind of guy, and he had a stomach flu, and he looked at me and I looked at him, and he just yibitzed right into my mouth, and it was not nice.
Yep, Michael, I thought so. He just said his wife's a special ed teacher. That's what I thought. I was going to ask you. I remember talking to you at Momentum and you telling me that. Tell her hello for us, please.
Yep.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
It's good that you're here, buddy. Miss you.
I'll take the supplies being thrown.
Yep.
Any day over the vomiting.
As long as it's not metal shop or something.
I'm always been notorious when a kid would come up to me and say, I don't feel good, and they're holding their stomach. I'm like, go ahead, go to the bathroom. I'm like, just go. Just
nasty.
Just go.
So I've been in the same classroom for 19 years, and it's never happened.
Oh, you just jinxed yourself.
Knock on wood.
You just jinxed yourself.
It's never happened.
Oof.
Now there was
I've been the kid that's thrown up in. Actually, Pete, I'll double down on you on here. I was in elementary school. We had just come in from recess, and a kid had been spinning me on the tire wheel, right? Spinning. I walk in, the 5 different smells hit me at once in the cafeteria, and I'm like,
trouble.
I'm not feeling so great, but moseyed along, followed, the typical get in line, got my food, carrying the tray, and I was all over the tray in the cafeteria.
I think we need to change the podcast to the teacher's puke rally.
Yeah.
If there are any animators out there that would like to take any of our stories and do little animated vignettes of these stories and make them come to life for future episodes, let us know, because I would love to see that one.
Oh my goodness.
It was
spinning tire lunchroom.
Yeah. I mean, I really think I looked green. I would not be surprised if people looked at me and I looked green.
Fred, we gotta end on a better one.
Yeah, let's do. We'll do one more.
Let's do one more.
Okay, one more for the grand rally finale. Rather,
there we go.
Okay.
Grade projects with a rubric or administer state testing. Apropos this week for us.
Holy cow, these are hard.
Would you rather grade projects?
Oh, the rubric. I'd rather go.
I could not. Administrating a state test is one of the worst. The worst. The AP ones, when you get the booklet and you can't open it, then you open the tape right then and there, and you got to read all the instructions, and you got to make sure you keep up with the time. And no, grade a project with a rubric. Done.
Oh yeah, I'd rather do that. Yeah.
How about grade a project with a Rubik's Cube?
Yeah. We're on our 6th day of testing, and on each side, across the hall from me, on each wall, there's classrooms that are all testing. So I have kindergarten and 2nd grade. I have to keep them silent and figure out ways to still do music with them and still have it be engaging and awesome for them while there's testing going outside, because Mr. Bush should not be attesting irregularity. And yeah, it's hard on everyone in the building this time of year. No doubt.
How long do they run for? A week or 2 weeks?
I think they'll be wrapping up tomorrow, I think, at least for the grades near me. There might be a few more for the older kiddos in the other building.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's a grind. That's
a grind for everybody. And then at the end of the day, I try to do really high energy, let's blow off some steam stuff for those kids, because I have those kids that had testing earlier. I'm not going to try to do a sit down type of lesson at that point. And but sometimes they have to do makeups or small group testing still near the music room. So it's a lot on everybody, no doubt.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm remembering this, but I can remember some really vicious dodgeball games during testing.
Oh yeah.
Like, everybody get outside, go play. And we go out there, and you're playing I don't know if you could still play dodgeball in school, but you're winging
those
it.
Rubber balls.
Oh my gosh. Bouncing off people's head. Boing. Everyone coming in with a welt.
No, I'm not from Georgia, obviously. I'm from New Jersey, but I've heard that that's illegal. Is it illegal? Have you ever heard that, Aaron?
Dodgeball?
Yeah.
I've heard it is. Yeah, that's why I asked it. Yeah, I think it's been
sure it is now.
Not a lot anymore. Yeah.
Maybe that's when things started going downhill.
That was
right. Oh yeah. I mean, it's
awful.
I mean, do like faculty dodgeball, have the kids watch, make it a fundraiser.
Right.
Yeah.
We do basketball. I mean, or what do they call not basketball? Do they do basketball? Do you guys ever see the teachers?
Yeah.
Play
basketball. A lot of times they'll do those at like the high school pep rally. They'll ask for teachers to volunteer, and they'll do like a quick game. My brain is falling apart now.
Tonight. We're all three of us.
I almost said twerking, but no, they did basketball. Some of the students might twerk during a pep rally in high school.
Staff members twerking at a pep rally will be an excellent fundraiser.
The papers.
Okay.
I was gonna say, there's another name for the podcast. We'll do the teachers.
Hello, Mr. David.
Oh,
hello,
David.
Good evening.
Well, that was fun, Pete. I think we should keep doing that kind of stuff. That was good. It gets you thinking. And
put a mark where we put a pin in where we stopped.
Fun stories.
And, right there.
We'll have a guest.
And, we'll play another game next week, and we've got what do we have next week? Oh, it's Cybersecurity Awareness Month that we're going to be celebrating next week. Problems.
Right.
Well, hey. Anything else before we go that you can think of?
Nah, we're good. It's good to see everybody.
It's really good to see you all.
Thank
you so much.
Well, next week we'll be on.
Yep.
Come join us.
Have a good night, everybody. Be well.
Bye.
Bye.